The Manitoba Friend or Family Sponsorship for PR is one of a kind of PR pathway because even your friend can sponsor you to apply for PR in Canada. And in this video, that's exactly what we are going to talk about. Hello everyone, this is Rice and this is Quest Canada. The Manitoba Skilled Worker Overseas is a PR pathway that has two main cornerstones. The first cornerstone is that you must establish and be able to prove that you have established connection in Manitoba. And the second cornerstone is that you should be able to score 60 points in the 5 factors of Manitoba, and these two cornerstones we will tackle in this video. There are 3 ways for you to prove your established connection in Manitoba. The first one is that if you have a friend or a family in Manitoba, and this is what they call the Manitoba support. The second one is if you have previous education or work experience in the province, and therefore international students, the reason why I urge you to look at Manitoba whenever you are considering of studying in Canada. And the third one is if you receive an invitation to apply directly sent by the province of Manitoba. I would like to dive deep and focus into the family or friend support PR pathway application. There are various eligibility requirements before a person who is either a friend or a close relative. Before they're able to support you, they must tick various boxes. And these various boxes are: 1, the person should be a permanent resident holder or a Canadian resident. The person should have been living in Manitoba for at least 12 months. The person or the sponsor should be able to support the settlement plan for the applicant. And lastly, if the person or the sponsor have sponsored somebody in the past, this person should be able to prove that the people they have sponsored in the past have economically established themselves in Manitoba. Therefore, really, the Manitoba government telling you that if you want to move to Manitoba and have people sponsor you to move to Manitoba, you better be living in Manitoba and working in Manitoba and be able to add value to the economy in Manitoba for a very long time. Because the person who sponsored you, if he is not able to say that, yes, this person that I have sponsored in the past was able to economically establish himself in Manitoba, if the person has left Manitoba, that's a problem. Therefore, you will not be successful with your PR application. And this is the reason why it is absolutely important for every single friend or family to be restrictive with their choices of sponsoring anybody within their circle. And also with the applicants, if you will be sponsored by anyone living in Manitoba, either a friend or a relative, you definitely should stay in Manitoba. Now, family sponsorship is also possible. What's the definition of family? It can be a brother, a sister, a nephew, an uncle, first cousin, mother or father, of course, and grandmother and grandfather. We have covered in detail the family and friends eligibility sponsorship. Now let's go to the 5-factor pointing assessment system of Manitoba. And I'd like to give you a heads up here. If most of the PR nominations or provincial nominee programs across the different provinces in Canada are driven by employers, meaning you should have a job offer, this PR pathway specifically does not require that. And I know this should be exciting for you. I am excited as well for you. This is one of a kind. This is remarkable. And let's dive deep into the pointing system. The first factor is language proficiency, wherein the highest score you could get is 20 points. This is with a CLB 8. The second factor is age. Of course, the younger you are, the higher your score is. The highest score you could get is 10, which is between the ages of 21 to 45. The third factor is work experience. If you have a work experience, a full-time employment in the last 5 years, then you could have 15 points in maximum score. And the fourth one is education, wherein master's degree or doctorate is the highest score that you could get with 25 points. And of course, number 5 is adaptability. With adaptability, the highest points you could get or you could receive is 20 points. 20 points is given to sponsors that are of close relative, or if you receive an invitation directly from the province of Manitoba. Now, if you are sponsored by a friend, then you get a 10-point in this system of Manitoba. which is still good because 10 points is not very easy to get. And therefore, the friend sponsorship is something that we definitely cannot discount. Now, guys, one thing I have to reiterate is that this pathway specifically is driven by your connection in Manitoba. If you do not have any connection in Manitoba, even if you score 100 in the scoring grid in the 5-factor points assessment of Manitoba, then in the end, you are not eligible because the first cornerstone of the pathway is your connection in the province. Guys, this pathway is something that you should definitely look at to aspiring international students. Manitoba is a province that you should look at because then when you study in Manitoba, you get a work permit. In Manitoba, you work in Manitoba, you become a permanent resident. The moment you become a permanent resident, you are outright eligible to sponsor anyone in your family already. And that's how exciting this province is. That's how exciting this PR pathway is. I understand that not everybody would have a family or a friend that will be eligible to be sponsors for PR application in Manitoba, and therefore really your best bet would be to find a job in Manitoba. Guys, you can visit questjobs.online because at questjobs.online, we have categorized various jobs postings in accordance to the most possible PR pathways, and we have also tagged each different job posting in accordance to different eligibility, whether you are an international applicant or a work permit